Okay, so we're going to do a really quick demo of how to contribute jest tests in JavaScript for the Open Library project, so that when we make changes to our JavaScript, we can also update our tests and not have complaints from the continuous integration about the size of our coverage changing. And in this specific PR that we're going to be evaluating by Dimitris, on the books page, there's a section for subjects, and it has like a subject header, and then there's a bunch of links after it. And what we want to happen is that when you click the header, the section will expand and show you all the links. But what we don't want to happen is when we click one of the links, we don't want it to expand and collapse. Instead, we just want to follow the link. And so this specific PR makes a change so that when we click on one of the links, as opposed to the header, the drop down or the collapse or expand is ignored. And presumably what we're going to do is add a test for this code. Is that all right?
That sounds good to me. Exactly. So we're going to try to test these lines essentially. And one of the caveats we get into is a lot of our JavaScript, because it isn't well tested, is structured in a way that's difficult to test. So anyway, anytime you have like these like nested function, like I can't reference this function in any way. So the only way I can test this code is by trying to trigger a click event on this element. So that's going to cause some headaches, but let's see how close we can get. Okay, so then this is the file, readmore.js. All of our JavaScript tests are stored in the root file system tests unit.js. And I'm going to create a new file here. I have a one where I was playing around earlier, but I'll just create a new file for this test.readmore.js. And our current pattern is basically just the name of the file with a test dot in front of it. There we go. So there's our test file. And then as a demo, I'm going to copy most of the structure out of this test.searchbar.js file, which has to do some similar sort of testing where it creates HTML and then it runs some things. I'm just running npm install there in the bottom, just ignore that for a moment. Okay, so inside test.readmore, I'm going to copy the describe clause. Describe is a grouping of tests, so I'll just call this init clampers because that's the name of the function.
Does the name matter, or is it just a name to assign to this group of tests?
Just a user readable name. And then the test is the specific thing you're testing. So here we want to test that clicking anchor tag doesn't expand. Oops. Close this. And then we also want to import the function init clampers. Autocomplete help me here. It will not. That's a shame. Okay. And then to find the path is kind of annoying in JavaScript land, so we just have to walk back a bunch until, oh, there we go. We're in, where are we? There we go. We're in the root file system, and so I can look at the path here. Open library plugins, open library plugins, open library JS. Autocomplete. JS, is that right? JS/readmore.js. Perfect. Okay, so found the function. Okay, so then looking back at the example here, we're going to need some HTML to play around with. So I looked at so in my other sort of example, let me go back here real quick. I looked at actually, let me go through that because it is kind of useful to, but not that. So to find the HTML that we want to test, it's usually useful to just copy some HTML from the production website. So I'm just going to go to a book here.
Do you also mind doing a really quick demo of, just to give people a visual reference of what we're testing? Clicking through of collapse and expand, and also click one of the links to show how it expands.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is the guy we're testing. So we have the subject section here. Clicking subjects should expand and collapse the subject section. clicking one of the subjects should not, because it's going to take you to a different page. So that's the bug we're fixing. And so I'm just going to go into the HTML here and copy some of that section. So here we have clamp, this HTML, and I probably don't need all of these, so I'm just going to get a few of them. Here we go.
I think we'll need enough at least so that it goes on to 2 lines.
We can control the height, so we should be okay with that so much. Usually with unit tests, you do try to get like try to keep things a little simple. So anything we don't need is nice to get out. So I'm gonna like remove these hrefs because we don't need them. And also these analytics clicks because we don't need them, whatever. So here, this is a nicer, smaller example. We have a span, we have the subjects label, and then we have a bunch of anchors. We have class clamp, we have these data before things. I'm not sure where we'd have to set the width, but let's roll with that for now. Okay, so there's our demo environment. And then for our test, we want to create that demo environment. So we'll just use jQuery, which I believe I need to import.
Cool.
Yeah. So import, and then we just pass in the dummy HTML, and then we'll have the clamper. And then we can call init clampers. Thank you, Copilot. Init clampers on the thing there, and then this code will get executed.
We probably also need to, after running init clampers, perform a test, right?
So the way that we can test this is, now that we've got all this stuff done, we want to trigger a click on the anchor elements, and there we go. Thank you, Copilot. So it'll find the anchor element, find the first anchor element, and then trigger a click on it. The piece, and then we have our expectation here. Thanks, Copilot. So clamper that has class clamp is, I think, what needs to change. Or no, we have something funny here. So like this is an example of like difficult to unit test code. It would be better if we had a class that we'd add to this whenever the thing was visible versus when it was not, because then we could just test for the presence of the class. But now we have to test for this kind of unwieldy thing. So here we try to test clamper.css display that to be okay. So let's see what this needs. So if it has clamp, so on a click, if it has the class clamp, which it should, display, if the display is equal to WebKit box, which it won't be because we haven't set the display to anything, it'll set it to unset. So otherwise WebKit box. Okay, so it should set this to WebKit box is what should happen.
It should not, because we are in an A tag.
Oh, right. Because we are in an A tag. Correct. So CSS of this should be undefined essentially, because it'll just be. Actually, let's just display unset. Should be unset. There we go. Oops. So test clicking
header does the thing.
Yeah, it does the thing.
Yeah.
The technical term there. Okay, there we go. And then so thank you, Copilot. Hopefully that's
I think it needs to be H2 rather than the 6.
Okay. 1 second, I'm just missing some things here. There we go. So we set up the dummy HTML again. We init the clampers. We select the H2, and then we click. It's complaining about jQuery being deprecated, and then we expect this to. We could do that, not to be, but let's just be a bit more explicit. We expect this to, actually, no, let's just do that. It's gonna be easier. To not be unset. That's fine. So we expect it to have changed. And that would be the rough unit test. So let me start up the Docker environment. Let's see if we can run this test. If I do a docker compose exec web bash. Yes, I'm going to run the full test here, which I think is.
And so We are within the web container, just to be clear, on the bottom.
Yeah, now we're inside the web container.
Cool.
And if I look in here, so it's test.js is the thing we're looking for here. So npm run test.js. Okay, maybe I need the actual regular expression. Test/unit. Oh, I put it in the wrong folder. Ah, get me out of here. Okay, it should be in /js. There we go, and move it into tests unit JS. Let's try that again, and let's see if this will work.
Oh, it's still 0 matches. Let's try the absolute path.
Yeah, okay, so let's do /openlibrary /tests /unit/js/ that is there, right? Test.read more. There we go. Hey, well that worked for some reason. Okay, there we go. Lovely. Cannot find module. Oh, did I mess up the import path? Let's see here. Oh, because because I moved the file. That's fine. Okay. Okay, and this should complain and come on. Now this should work.
Yeah,
perfect. Okay. Okay. Hey, an actual failure.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Cool. And so.
Okay, perfect. So this is an actual error. So clicking non-anchor tag does clamp. Did not. Oh, it was an H6. There we go.
Oh.
So Copilot was right. The human was wrong. Okay, great. Let's go here.
Yeah, I bet it'll pass. No problem.